I'm gonna make a prediction. It is a Tuesday, so we'll kind of throw this in a trade machine Tuesday. I think Gordon or Allen, one of the two, is dealt. I don't think it'll be. I
Dude,
doubt
you
it'll
trade
be Allen.
Grayson Allen, and this
But
fan
here's
base
the
will lose their
thing.
mind right now.
As much as I don't want to see him go, isn't he the only one who's not locked up past this season?
Yes.
And isn't it a tough situation at the very least to figure out a path to having him on this team after this season because of the financial?
Well, you have his rights, so you can resign him.
But my question is, okay, you can trade Grayson Allen, but you can only trade Grayson Allen for something that's significantly going to help you this year, because there is it's a very hard argument to trade somebody who's been this important to this team so far just because you're trying to get rid of a guy whose contract is expiring. You got to get something bona fide in return.
Agree.
So to me, if you packaged like a Grayson Allen with a Nasir Little, for instance, that would create that's a significant amount of salary right there. That might be able to get you a high level, fifth starter. But that high level fifth starter has got to be better than Grayson Allen. Otherwise, why do it?
I agree. And part of my thought, though, is Gordon can give you a percentage of what you're getting from Allen. But if you could solidify, whether it's that backup center spot, if you feel like you need to get a true point guard off that bench, something like that, I feel like there's a move that's still going to happen with this roster, because we're starting to see, now that we've seen the big three, we see them going, there are some holes that need to be filled, and you're going to have to get creative to fill them. And really, to me, the only overlap on this roster is potentially one of those two guys could fill the role that the other would leave behind. And I think you're going to have to decide, are we okay having some of these holes and trying to run with this, or do we need to try to fill some of those? And as we know, you got to give something to get something. And so that I look at this and I still feel like the rotation's uneven.
I fully understand what you're saying, because even though I agree 100% with the chat that it would be devastating if Grayson Allen was traded, and I understand why you don't want Grayson Allen to be traded,
I'd be more devastated.
There is a scenario that exists where it makes sense for Grayson Allen to be included.
Tell me.
Not for the Suns necessarily, like a 1-for-1, but because he is expiring, because he is a valuable asset, somebody might be willing to spend a little bit more to get Grayson Allen, is what I'm saying.
Maybe, but they can only.
If it was, you felt like whoever it was coming back in return was valuable enough, and the final piece of the puzzle was including Grayson Allen, I could see a situation where the Suns might consider it. I get it.
But
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I could see it.
For instance, if we want to play this game, I'll play this game. There's one guy out there that I would be extremely happy with trading Grayson Allen and Nasir Little. Even Eric Gordon, all three of them at the same time for. And that's probably like Lauri Markkanen. That's the type of guy you would need in return to replace the Grayson Allen, because Grayson does so many things for you on this side of the court, on both sides of the court. Defensively, he's nowhere near anemic. He can hold his own on defense. He's very crafty. He's an intelligent basketball player. And also he's versatile on the offensive side. He doesn't need to get a ton of shots up, but he's a very good shooter. Mm-hmm. He can facilitate for you. He's a smart player. Like he's kind of that glue guy that kind of keeps everything going. It's just going to be very hard to replace a guy like that. So unless you package something like that, which I don't even know if it's possible because I haven't looked at the numbers.
I don't think
you would need something that caliber in return. And I don't see that guy out there. I don't see another guy out there like that. You're not going to trade him for like a TJ McConnell. No. You're not going to trade him for some scrub. You need somebody that's going to replace what he's providing to you right now and more.
And that's my point. But when you look at this rotation, do you feel like it's good enough when you're looking at it? Because we thought backup center was filled when they made their moves this offseason. It's obviously not.
No.
It's not in any way, shape, or form. So are you okay playing super small come the playoffs? Because that might be the reality of it. Azubuike is not going to be available for the playoffs unless you unless you convert him.
Mhm.
So like there's holes, and that's my simple point. And I'm not. I
We're
don't
not
want
advocating for Grayson Allen to get traded.
And I don't want the chat to.
Kind of feels like that.
No,
I don't want
not
the
at all.
chat to misconstrue. I'm not saying Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen are the same player. I'm saying Eric Gordon could step in and give you some of that 3-point shooting that Grayson Allen gives you if you have the ability to make your team better as a whole. I mean, I don't know that there is necessarily that move out there, but I just don't. I look at the rotation right now, and I feel like there's holes that maybe we didn't anticipate that you're going to need to either address or accept are going to be a deficiency as you go along.
I just don't know if the return. Here's what I would say. I feel like if you traded Grayson Allen, let's just say these guys existed on other teams. Let's just say Nasir Little, KBD, those types of guys existed on other teams. I think that's the kind of return you're looking at in order to fill some of the holes that you have. And when you look at those players specifically, would you make that trade? You know what I mean?
Well,
like just to fill some holes. I don't know if I would do that. I think I would just take my chances with the 6 guys and run with it and see what happens, because Grayson Allen, I feel like, gives you a better opportunity than filling a couple other holes that might not really raise your team level as much. But, you know, you have some bench depth.
It would have to be the kind of something like the kind of move that LA made to really fortify things last year that took them from middling play-in team to the Western Conference Finals, where maybe there's not that one name that makes you go, oh, wow, yeah, but you get enough talent where it fills so many different things. I don't think it will happen, but I'm just looking at it and going, that's the one chip you'd have to play if you're going to try to fill your rotational needs.
I mean, basically what the Lakers did was they traded for a guard, and they got Russell, D'Angelo Russell. They got Vanderbilt, and then they got Rui Hachimura. Those 3 are solid players, and that's the kind of haul you would need to try and replace what you have right now. And I just don't think Grayson Allen would warrant that. I don't think a team would try to do that. And also, I think trading Grayson Allen at this point, unless I don't know something behind the scenes, I think everybody on that team really likes Grayson Allen.
No, yeah, they do.
I think they really vibe with him. I know Kevin Durant specifically loves Grayson Allen because he knows he can trust him. Mm-hmm. And I think all those players trust him. So if they traded Grayson Allen, here, I'll say this. If they traded Grayson Allen, we riot. We riot.
I mean, from what it sounds like,
it would be worse than trading Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson.
Okay.
What if I told you he's definitely
maybe a little
resigning?
aggressive there?
He's my sweet baby angel, Lindsay.
Well,
what if I told you he definitely wasn't going to resign? That change the equation?
Not for this year, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem.
That's the hard part with all of this.
Yeah, am I all in this year, or am I looking? This is a 2-year window. There's a lot of things, but when we were going through this exercise and looking at the rotation, I'm not as comfortable as I once thought I was going to be with some of this depth, and I keep going back to it. But that center position, it concerns the hell out of me right now, because you're already a small team, and now you have no legitimate backup center.
Yeah.
All I know is that I know that one guy in the chat hit the nail on the head for me. They said, as long as we get Torrey Craig back by the end of the trade deadline, I'm happy. That will never not be funny to me, so I will always make that joke.
They traded
no
for Torrey
what.
Craig again.
I would die.
I would lose it.
Oh my god!
Somebody in the chat just said, hell damn guy says, Espo, stop trying to sell our assets while we're in the middle of a ring run. My point is to try to fortify your ring run. Like, I'm not like, hey, can we get like 3 second-round picks for Grayson Allen? Because I'm not running some auction here to sell whatever isn't nailed down to the floor. I'm pontificating about how you actually get a more well-rounded lineup here.
Yeah, and I think it was a conversation that we were going to have at some point in time, at least leading up to the trade deadline. And there will be Trade Machine Tuesdays happening in the near future. And I'm sure Gerald or someone will cook up a trade that probably has Grayson Allen in it.
Don't even try it. He's untouchable. He's untouchable.
I'm just saying.
The list of untouchable players goes Grayson Allen,
Oh
then
my
it's Kevin
God.
Durant, Devin Booker.
You're on Flex Chimezi Metu time right now, man. But to be fair to your point, so I put a poll in the chat, is Grayson Allen untouchable in trade talks? It's early, but 80-20 say yes.
Wow.
You guys
I mean,
get
listen,
it.
I
You
get
guys
it.
get it.
Grayson Allen's been playing really well for us, and it was a added bonus that it was a surprise that I think because we all thought we weren't going to like him, and then immediately
Not
he
all.
flipped that script on us, and
Not
now
all.
we're just like, we love this guy. What do you mean?
Saul Bookman has been Grayson Allen fan day one.